What's going on YouTube? Quick video here. So this is going to be kind of a how-to video. If you guys watched any of my previous videos, mainly the shorts recently, so the most recent two shorts, you'll notice there's actually a squeak, and it's actually coming from one of my belts. So specifically the power steering / AC compressor belt is starting to squeak and going out on my car. So I do have a replacement belt, and this is just like a really quick video on actually how to replace that specific belt. I'm not going to show you how to do the other accessory belts, but it's really similar and really easy. I'll actually place some links and some diagrams and stuff for you guys to look at. But specifically, if you're needing to replace the power steering / AC compressor belt on an FD RX7, so 92, all the way up to 02. 92 only for the JDM models, but if you're in the US and Canada, it's 93 to 95. Everywhere else, it's 92 to 02 if you have a right-hand drive version, but it's really similar, really simple to change. So the part number for the actual belt, I'll start off with that. So the belt that I'm going to be using is a Gates belt, so a Micro V, part number K060410. There's actually two different versions of this belt. This one specifically is for if you still have your AC compressor. So if you still have the stock AC compressor on the on your FD, along with your power steering pump, you'll be using this belt. There's a different version. I'll put the diagram as well as the part number for that one. That one's just for power steering, and the pulley that applies tension to it. So if you don't have AC on your FD anymore, which a lot of people do, you'll use that belt instead. But if you still have your stock FD AC compressor, you'll be using this specific belt to change. Over here, so the tools you'll need a 10mm socket, and you can just use really basic hand tools and some extensions just to get this job done. It's actually not too difficult. Okay, so moving back to the engine, if you're changing all your accessory belts, you'll actually need to make a lot of room here. So you'll need to take out the intercooler as well as all the piping and the AST tank, the intake plenum and all that to make some space just so you can mess with all the belts. So if you're just changing the power steering belt, you won't really need to touch anything else really. The only thing that you'll need to do is remove the intake plenum going into the intercooler. So you'll take this off as well as this right here. You don't need to take the intercooler out. You don't need to mess with the AST tank. That should be enough space. And really all you're doing is there's a 10mm bolt right here. So you'll loosen this, and this will actually release the tension from the belts. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so to take the intake plenum off, there's actually 4 10mm nuts. So there's 2 visible right here on the upper intake manifold, and there's 2 below. You can just use some extensions and a socket to take these out. And then both of these hose clamps, these are 10 mil on my car. So yeah, undo all these, undo that, and you can take this whole thing off. It's pretty simple. Cool, so once you've taken this off, so it takes less than 5 minutes to remove, so pretty much looks like this. So yeah, it takes like 5 minutes to remove. You'll then have access to, or you'll have better access to the actual tensioner pulley on this belt. And what you're doing is you're loosening this 10mm bolt right here, which is what I was trying to show you guys. And then, yeah, you just gotta loosen it. Cool, so once you've loosened it enough to where, so you'll notice this pulley, this tensioner pulley will actually move upwards. And when you move it upwards, it'll actually add more slack. So you can see it's not really any tension right here anymore. So you'll do it to where it's enough to where you can just slide the belt off. So I still need to turn this a little bit more, and then you can pretty much have enough slack to slide this off pretty easily. So yeah. Okay, so once you've loosened it enough, you can kind of just slide it off the crank pulley right there, and then just take it off the AC compressor and the power steering pump. So yeah, here we go. This is the old belt, and we will be replacing it with this new one right here. So installation's pretty much opposite of removal. So just try to slide it and snake it back into the pulleys. There's no particular way of doing it. Just try to slide it in correctly and get the ribs on correctly. Cool, so I have the new belt installed. One trick that I did find to be helpful, so if you do need to, so you could loosen this even more, just in case there's still some slack applying to the belt, so you can loosen this even further, and this will move it up further. And then I tend to slide it onto the power steering and AC compressor pulleys first, and then I'll slide it into the crank pulley in there. So I actually had a light the whole time. So yeah, as you can see, so I would slide it into those first on the right, and then once I got those onto the both the power steering and AC compressor, I'll slide it onto the crank pulley down there. So yeah, pretty much once you have the belt on, just tension it, and then tension it enough to where it's nice and snug. You don't have to crank it and make it too tight. You don't want it too tight. You don't want it too loose either. Just snug enough to apply tension to the belt. Started this thing up in over a month, so hopefully this thing does start up. So should just fire up.
And there's no squeak, hopefully. So